Playing the crab is like being the only person not in costume at a Halloween party. Everyone is disappointed in you, and you're probably lonely. So going into game 1, we firmly pitch the edges of the board. My opponent responds by putting pieces in the center, and I do the same. Seeing that my royalty is indecently exposed, the Pope comes to visit, backed up by his bodyguard. Mr. Francis is rejected at the border, but feeling offended, he sticks around. This crucial error lets my pawns swarm him like children at an ice cream truck. The bodyguard tries to protect, but Mr. Francis goes down swinging. Upset that his cultural icon was murdered by children, our opponent goes on the offensive. We defend easily and set up nicely in the center. Once again angry about our new leaders, the queen comes to play, but she's also thrown out. Here, we disguise a total invasion of the property as a simple pawn push. The bait is taken, and the game is essentially over at this point. A few pretty dance moves around the king, backed up by our nicely placed pieces, leads to checkmate. Going into game 2, our opponent tries to crush our carapace with a boot. We push back against it, but he simply pushes further. From here, we fumble our way out of this vice grip while they ready their attack. Luckily, we get some room to breathe and we prepare our defense. The first major threat arrives via courier, and our diplomat begins working on a reply. Their messenger sticks around too long, and his head is returned via express post. They strike back, but our diplomat renounces their monarchy with a peasant movement. Their queen retreats, but the peasants march forward. After some piece adjustments, an attack on the center causes a trade, and we've gained a pawn. Cha-ching. Another attack on the middle, and from here, everything comes crashing down. We're really low on time, and we panic, make a bad move, then another bad move, and ultimately this results in our opponent enjoying a seafood feast. In game 3, our opponent starts with the only correct response to the crab, arm wrestling my right claw. Not to be outdone, I piss on the center of the board and claim it as our own. Our opponent resents this, and we play a game of Twister across the board. In our tangled mess, opportunity arose. I sprung into action and pinched him in the dick. Punches were thrown, but I came out on top. He struggled underneath my rein, and I did a little jig on top of his body to assert dominance. He gave up. Going into game 4, our opponent immediately flexes on my inability to reach the center with my claws. I slowly make my way over to pinch him, but he avoids me. I try again, but he ignores me. So, I construct a little penis on the chessboard. This gets a reaction. I defend my art, then make my way towards the tip. He tries to destroy my painting, but it only makes it stronger. Bringing in the big guns, he opens himself up to my priest. Big mistake. I go on the attack, and finally our priest hurls himself towards the dungeon tower before they suspiciously leave the board together. Not wanting to think about that implication, our opponent leaves the game.